Right? And I'm not playing no games. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Pops, and we're going to do our She-Hulk review. And actually, I'm just going to very quickly mention episode 8. No, episode 7. It all runs together. Episode 7, didn't do a video, hurricane, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, her client is Abomination. His tracker goes off, and he broke parole. They go out there. They find out that there was a malfunction. Her car, as Jennifer, gets battered up pretty bad because two other superhuman characters, Man Bull and Elaguaga, I don't even know their names. I don't care. I don't care. They get into a tussle. They destroy her Prius Prime. We know it's Prius Prime because they mention it like 3 times. And then she's stuck there, and then they have like a therapy session or two. She talks about her feelings with this guy at the wedding that she slept with, and he's ghosted her. There's all these little gags and jokes at her expense, and basically, long story short, he was really after the stuff. He was really after her blood all along. Like he's a villain. Like I don't understand why it's such a secret. Everybody knows that's kind of what was going to happen. I was shocked it didn't happen in the wedding episode, but there you go. So. All right. So that withstanding, oh my gosh, what is going on with Google? Oh man, I just can't stand Disney Plus sometimes. There it goes. Okay. Couldn't figure out why it wouldn't load for me. So before we get to the actual episode, I really want to show you the Disney formula because this is exactly what so many people have already figured out. And I think this is the key to understanding why their shows have been absolutely terrible, right? So let me pull up for you what is really right out in the open. There's not even there's no secret. This is like on Wikipedia. So you can go to Wikipedia and you can look up the show's page, and at the bottom you'll have an episode list, and in the episode list you'll see who wrote it. Forget about who directed it. Forget about who they tell you who's in charge. Forget about all of that, right? The only person that matters on all of this is Jessica Gao. Now, Jessica Gao is the person who wrote episodes 1 and 2. Now, she is the writer of Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick is the famous Rick and Morty episode, possibly the best episode of the entire series. And she's the one that wrote the first episode, the second episode, and then the last episode. And in between is when we've had all of this other crap. So the first episode, if you remember, my thoughts were like, okay, it's not too bad. Let's just see if her character changes. I didn't like the fact they changed the origin. I didn't like all that, but I haven't read a lot of these new comic books, and I got a feeling when I do, that's where the problem actually began, not with the show. But that notwithstanding, it shows that Marvel doesn't understand its core fan base, and it changes the power dynamic of Hulk, She-Hulk, and Abomination in particular, which I explained in my videos. And then you get into she loses her job, public persona, gets a job running superhero stuff, blah, blah, blah. And you start to see, okay, this is not going kind of how I thought it was going to go exactly, but at least we understand the general nature of the show. Okay. Then you have episodes after episode of just nothing ever happening. Episodes that's devoted to her going to a wedding, to going to the therapy sessions, and all of these different things were just, the twerking episode, right? And then you finally get to this episode, and then the last episode is Jessica Gao again. Okay, so why did I tell you all that? Because those are the only episodes that matter. Those are the only episodes, because what had happened is, and I guarantee this is exactly how this went. The Rick and Morty creator, make sure I don't get his name wrong, because I always get his name wrong. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, let's see. Rick and Morty. Okay, well, because he's not really the creator, isn't he? He's the big writer over there was Michael. Oh, come on, where's the name? Oh, geez, come on. Anyway, so he wrote Loki. Let me get his name. Michael Waldron. Okay, Michael. Oh my gosh, my brain. Okay, so Michael Waldron is the business right now. He's the one he's the crap right now. He's the one that's responsible for giving us the Loki show. He wrote, got him the Doctor Strange mom job, and now he's going to do other stuff. The Secret Invasions, I think, what he's hired on to. Well, when you look at someone, if he's going to have those qualifications, and Pickle Rick is the most popular episode, then she suddenly becomes relevant, and that's how Gal gets this. What do you want to do? And she's the one that proposes and writes a decent episode 1, maybe 2 treatment, and then a finale. Like, this is how we're going to start and this is how we're going to end. They flush it out into some details, and that's pretty much all that matters. You could watch episode 1. If you watch episode 2 or not, to me, it doesn't matter, but you could watch episode 1 and then just watch the recap to 7, and you're all caught up. And because nothing else matters. And I can see them going in a room. She pitched how all this was going to end up, and even says, just put Daredevil in it, the episode right before it or something, like make like a snide remark about putting Daredevil in it. And that's what we got in episode 7. It's a filler episode where we finally move towards the ending. We finally move to what the plot point actually was all along. All of the rest of this, none of this ever mattered. We were expected to sit through 3-4 hours of our lives. I don't know how long it is. What was the math again? Most of these episodes are only like 20 something minutes long anyway, but let's just assume a half hour an episode, 1 hour, 2 hours. 3 hours of time, approximately 3 hours of our lives to get to this point. And then what do we actually get to see? We get to see an episode that for the most part doesn't matter, more of the same with a few caveats. Okay. So, this is the flashback sequence. And again, they ruin all of these key elements. Here's the uber nerdy guy, super wealthy guy. He's going to matter. I'm going to give you my spoiler theory. Here's the divorce episode with the Mr. Immortal who can't die. Anyway, this is the Josh sequence where he's cloning her phone, has all of her information. And that's what basically happens in this episode. Long story short, SheHulk is taking a case. I'm going to get to this. Oh, we have to have this little intro. Yeah, this is a LeapFrog. I don't know. It's like a stupid intro. He's telling the story, and he basically is trying to get her as a client because his boots, when he jets away, is it burns up his legs. He's got like these big burns. His legs burst into flames. So that's basically the premise of the art. So it's like a liability lawsuit, basically. And then we cut to she doesn't want to take the job, blah, blah, blah. 2 minutes of wasted time. Then we cut to try to settle out of court. So she goes to see Luke. Luke basically is like witchy gay, designer. I don't make mistakes. Blah, blah, blah. We still don't care. So we waste more time before we get to the court case. Matt Murdock is late as always because that is a shtick in the comic book. And there's a back and forth about liability. And, it's fine. Oh, wait, I don't have my sound.
People, there is no inherent right to privacy when
they discuss privacy, superheroes' privacy, because you have people that are in danger, including themselves, things like that. He stands up and he's basically a fool. The client is a moron and basically used jet fuel in the suit, which is not what it was supposed to be made for. So therefore, that's why his legs burned in. Case closed. And she's concerned about her clothes, not about her case and her client. And like, you're dead to me, basically, is a shtick. And they go to a bar, and Matt comes over, olive branch. I like you. You're nice. They're flirty. She does the camera. Like, aren't you feeling this? I'm getting this. And by the way, she gets a message from creepy tech guy. Right? No. Yeah, creepy tech guy. So they go to a different bar, I guess. I'm confused. Maybe she goes. That's right. Because does she go home first? It doesn't make a difference. Creepy tech guy. He bought a Wakanda spear, tries to be Wakanda forever. She has this comment about being awkward. It's just, we got to move along. None of this matters. And then finally you get to the piece about LeapFrog. And then you have what we've seen in the trailers, because the trailers ruined all of this footage. Like, there's trailers and a leak thing with Entertainment Weekly that ruined all of this. This is more like a classic She-Hulk type uniform. There's no signatures really, but the purple and the design's fine. And you get little comments. And by the way, there is a comment about like ketchup and mustard, yellow and red going together. So I kid you not, when Daredevil's brought back, there'll be a comment about, because he'll have his whole red suit back again. And my prediction is there will be a comment about he lost the mustard. Just completely 100% predict that will happen. That's how generic these writers are. Anyway, so there's he's using his talents to tell exactly how many people are in there. He defines what henchmen and goons are. They set up the hallway sequence. We think we're actually going to get a hallway sequence. Door opens. He takes down a couple guys, and it's cool. It's super good stuff, to be honest. I enjoyed the Daredevil scene, of course. But then whenever you get to the follow-up to it, it gets ruined because she has to burst in as being, Hulk out or whatever. This is the LeapFrog lair. I have to be honest, it's at least the first time they try to pretend to make a set. They try to pretend to create some set design and something with the whole lily pad set design for this character. And he has henchmen and goons and all the jokes are there. And there's just shenanigans as, Daredevil's doing all the heavy lifting. Some dude tries to hit her with a bat, which of course isn't going to work. And then, of course, there's a quick little resolution with the designer because she can have her dress and she can go to the gala, and they flirt and they're oh, you're so brooding and you're whatever. And basically, long story short, he's only there for a day. So what are they going to do? They're going to make out because that's what she's all about. Morning after, Daredevil's doing the walk of shame. Literally, could not how ridiculous this is. He literally is carrying his boots. He doesn't have shoes on. Walking past people as though no one in California would know he's Daredevil. So here you go. So that's kind of the episode. And then she's basically talking about, why are we still going? Why are you still here? And then it's like the gala scene is now, basically. So it's fourth wall stuff. And we get to the gala. I'm sorry. I know I'm rushing. None of it mattered. This is the scene that they spoil because they show you. See, I don't understand this too. If the ladies that are creating this think that the outfits and the dresses matter so much, and these walks and these elegant flows and whatever is what it's all about, then why did you ruin it in the trailers? Why did you not tease it? Why did you not just show the leg coming out, showing a little glimmer of the dress? Why are you even ruining the elements that you think are important? I don't understand. It's like when she picks up the one guy to take him to bed, it was completely ruined, and it created like a negative perception of the show before the show started. So when it happened, all you did was like you doubled the negative. You didn't reverse our expectations really, other than the fact that he was in on sleeping with her. That's why I don't like these allegations of the show, like she's abusing people or sexually abusing. I don't use the term. Anyway, we go to the female lawyer event, and basically her name comes up first as female lawyer of the year. But they pull up like five. They pull up all of them. Basically, everyone gets to go up on stage, right? But then she starts to give her speech, which is actually the nicest one. The other ones are all arrogant. The other lady, what's her name? Book. Yeah, she is just the typical woman feminist. Twice the work, half the recognition, and everybody asks you what it's like to be a female lawyer, and you're just like, oh God, you were just the woman that none of us want to be around in the room, right? And then SheHulk says, I would like to thank my mom and whatever. And then the intelligentsia thing, which has been teased a couple times in the show, finally comes up, and we get to see what was on her phone. Excuse me. And you see her personal life exposed, what she's into. She's obsessed with Captain America's butt. You see the sex scene that she's having. And they're basing all that. And she's basically just increasingly getting enraged. And then she just starts destroying the place. She becomes Savage SheHulk, right? So this is what's happening. People are running out, scared. She's become the monster. She's become kind of like what Bruce would become when he loses control. People are racing out, terrified. And she tries to catch one of the masked guys right here. And then I guess this is supposed to be the damage control people. Which is like the on-the-ground police force that deals with superheroes when they're out of control, supervillains. So I assume this is a similar type of thing we saw with Ms. Marvel. But the dots are on her, and she panics, and that's how the episode ends, right? Now, Why did I talk more and then just zip through the episode? Because the episode doesn't matter. The episode is irrelevant. LeapFrog is reduced to just, arrogant rich kid who's just a complete moron to put jet fuel in his suit to set it on fire. And Daredevil, even though we get a cool Daredevil fight scene, Matt Murdock's reduced to basically, first impressions, sleep with the girl type cheesiness. And I don't know. I mean, there's a little bit of that, I guess, in some of the issues of the comic book, but not really. I mean, he's pretty committed to Natasha for a long time. Obviously, Elektra, Karen Page. You have different relationships that matter to Matt. It's not as frivolous as, a one night stand on a California trip. But again, they wrote so many new comic books. They've tried to rewrite the lore and change it. I don't know. But here's the thing. They walked in a room. They pitched the story. And they were like, well, we can't make that because, Jen was shot and got her powers from Bruce doing no, we're going to change that. Or they've already changed it in the comic book, one of the two. And they say, no, we're going to do this car accident. She gets her powers. She doesn't want her power. She doesn't even want to be She-Hulk. She just wants to be lawyer. She loses her job. She's going to take over superhero stuff. And then at the end, we're gonna have this. The show is going to focus on real life. What it is to be like a real life person. She can do this, and she could go to a wedding, and she could do that, and then it'll culminate with this moment where the secret agency that's getting her blood is going to out her and enrage her, turn her into the monster, and expose her for who she really is. The savage She-Hulk, and she'll have to be faced with a decision of how to embrace going forward. That's what's going to happen in the final episode. This is the story arc. The story arc actually exists. It's just it's so small and thin, and they fluff it into all this other nonsense. Again, some people have talked about these shows should just be like a 2-hour movie. Well, they can't do that because then they can't get you on the hook to keep Disney Plus. Disney was at least smart enough to spread this stuff out. As crap as their stuff is, as garbage as it is to have to do this week to week to week stuff with their 20-minute excuses of a TV show. Oh, gosh, where nothing happens. They got you on the hook to try to keep their service over the course of at least 2 to 3 months while they line up the next one to come in right behind it. So you don't want to cancel. So you keep your service. Compare that to Netflix, where Netflix drops everything. You could not have Netflix, get on Netflix. You watch Netflix every day, multiple times a day. You binge all this stuff. You get yourself caught up. And then you cancel your subscription and you come back in a few months. Maybe you might have to pay a couple bucks more, but you lose money because you didn't pay for 2 or 3, 4, 5 months. But Stranger Things season 4 is out. You get it again, rinse and repeat. That's what's happening here. The whole model has come full circle and been transparent. The curtain is pulled back. They could care less about She-Hulk. They care less about Daredevil, Marvel products. They care less about fans. This is their formula with how they get and keep subscribers, how they create their content, the pitch they expect from their writers, how they put all this stuff together. And all they have to do is keep dropping another tease that makes you want to watch, another tease that makes you want to keep it, another tease for the next show, a few little links for a few fans here, create some internet buzz. They don't care if it's positive or negative internet buzz because what do we know? Any publicity is good publicity. That's it. There's the whole thing. One more episode to go. It will be a coming to grips with the She-Hulk moment. It will probably be a better written episode, even though I expect it to be like woke crap because of, that's what we're talking about as far as creators go. But you know what? We'll see. I'm watching it. You are not only caught up, you've probably got more information than you actually wanted listening to me drone on. But there you go. I have emptied myself for you. I'm full of all of this emotional and stuff crap that happens. I don't scream and yell and cry. And I don't, this is it. This is who I am. And this is how I feel. And it's so frustrating because there are glimpses where the show's not bad. If it wasn't so labor intensive and so time consuming, or I could sit with a notepad and literally just when I watched it, make a few comments and we could re-edit this into like a show or a series or something, we could probably make a nice 1.5 to 2 hour movie out of it. And you'd be shocked that it would be tolerable. I'm not saying I can make it good, but I could at least make it tolerable. But anyway, that's my thoughts. You're going to watch it, or you didn't watch it. You'll let me know. I usually go out with Bob Ross, so let's remember to chill today and have fun. And if you're watching the whole thing to the end, I do have a Daredevil comic book review. It's happening in a couple hours, and new reviews, comic book talk tonight at 7:30 Eastern time. So feel free to check me out. Talk to you soon.